Because with power, no one stands a chance.
Is it just me, or is it getting a little bit nippy out here?
He's here. And there is nothing you can do to stop him.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? We're at New York Comic Con 2022 to talk about the new Mortal Kombat film. As you see right here, Snowblind, which did make this world premiere in New York just a few days ago. But hey, folks, it's okay. We got you covered because you can check it out on demand and digital, and you can just buy the Blu-ray in just a day. I'm with the director and EP, Rick. Rick, how's it going today?
Great. Happy to be here.
So, you know, I've said this a few times today. Mortal Kombat is not just a video game. It's not just a movie. This is really embedded into a lot of people's DNA. I would love to know your first exposure to the IP.
Oh, well, when I was a kid playing the original games, you know, in the arcade, and you know, the little bastard that was 3 years younger than me that I put the quarter up on every day after school, and he just kicked the hell out of me, and I could never get him off the game. Anyway.
No, wait. No, keep going. I literally, and for one of my buddies that is a fan of my content, I did a podcast with him about a couple of weeks ago, and I talked about that trauma that I had from that, about that person.
I never let it go. I still remember what he looks like.
Bingo. See, and he had me thinking like, he's like, I've never experienced that. I said, I don't think he was in the arcades hard like I was, because yeah, it's exactly my same thing. That's so funny. But now look where you at. Ha, who got the last laugh? What can you kind of tell us about, and not to spoil it, and for the folks again who's going to be able to check it out in just a day, what can we expect from this now film?
I mean, I think, you know, it's got all the classic hallmarks of a Mortal Kombat film, the ultra violence and, you know, the use of special moves and all that stuff. But to me, the unique thing about this one and what sets it apart from the other two is it's smaller in scale, you know, than the first two were. We aren't dealing with the big tournament aspect of it, and we've got a lot of characters that will be recognizable to you, but we really are. It really is Kenshi, and it really is Sub-Zero's story, you know.
Visually, this looks amazing, and I swear, when it comes down to the animation department and WB, you just keep outdoing themselves. What were sort of your first impressions when you got to see it?
I mean, well, you know, as I'm working on these things, you're constantly you're
the fans are in the building today, folks.
you're setting the design, and we intentionally wanted to take it into a different place since we're sort of setting it in a different world and all that. So, but again, to me, Mortal Kombat it's a dirty place. It's a rough place. It's hard, and they're hard people, you know, especially in this one. And so I wanted it to be a little bit rougher. I wanted it to be a little bit more unfinished, like the lines. You can see the overshoot on them. You know, it's almost like, and it's really weird, you know, to say, but when I was talking to our art director on this about what is it going to look like, I was like, you know, it's kind of like 101 Dalmatians. Like, and you look at the animation in that, and it's like, you can see it's rough, and there's kind of, you can find some of the construction in there still, and it's really beautiful. And he was like, what? but I think then, you know, we got it. And, you know, so.
Yeah. And you know, that's interesting because, yeah, this one definitely feels like a small scope, but for probably lack of better words and bad analogies here, Mortal Kombat fans, it's like a drug. We always want more. And with this kind of feeling smaller, but obviously the idea and desire to want to go bigger yourself, where do you kind of want to kind of see things kind of go? And obviously, hopefully, you being attached to the projects.
Well, I want to see this franchise, the animation in particular, continue for a long time with me and without me. Yeah. You know? And so for this film, I really, really wanted to open up the world to the possibilities. Yeah. It doesn't always have to be about the tournament. Yeah. It doesn't always have to involve Liu Kang and Shang Tsung and, you know, those staples. Mm-hmm. You can tell a Kenshi story. You could tell a Sonya Blade story. You could focus on a portion of Johnny Cage's life or whatever, you know, and I think that's stuff that fans, I hope, are interested in.
Yeah.
And also stuff that they're not going to get from the video games. Like I want to set this apart from the video games in that we're going to respect the lore. We're going to try to tie it to what you understand as the Mortal Kombat universe, but also hopefully show you different things that make sense within the world that you haven't seen and won't see in the games.
Yeah, listen, I come from the forums days where everyone's looking for their next content and building storylines, and now with so much available content, things are very evident no matter wherever you look now. You don't have to look dark and deep places of the internet to find stuff. So that's I love that perspective about it, because I think that keeps everyone satisfied, keep people hungry for more, and obviously trying to make their own little connections.
Well, I think too is like that there is a lot of truth to that too, is like the speculation drives the fandom in a lot of ways, like, and also I think people then start creating their own head canon and how this happens. Well, you know what I'm saying is like all that stuff is relevant, and it could all be a possibility within this world because of what we've done here in this one. They have already established that within the games with the multiple endings and all that stuff, but I think here we're saying explicitly, like, that's what it is. Like, go for it.
Yeah. Final question. I mean, we're at a Comic-Con, so when you look around at the cosplays, does your gears start to turn about things you want to do based on some of the, shall I say, multiple universal folks all kind of collaborate together? Do you ever just look at a character and be like, oh, you know what, that would be interesting if we can do that? I mean, it's all under the same umbrella. Have you thought of anything, like, granular like that?
I just marvel at some of these people's stamina to walk around in the things they do. Like, really, dude, like, you're wearing those boots. Like, how are you walking around the convention in those boots for as long as you are? It's crazy to me. But when I go to the thing I like about going to conventions and seeing that sort of stuff, and I'm a big comic book fan, so looking at comic book art is I feel like it recharges my battery. Like, I always have a burst of excitement when I leave one of these things where I'm like, oh man, I saw that cool Mike Mignola artwork or sketchbook or whatever, and it's like, man, I want to draw just like that guy. There's always just something that like you've seen, and it's a sensory overload to a degree, but I think it's always really inspiring, especially the love and care that some of these fans take with their cosplay and stuff like that. You can tell they're very... I'll just tell this stupid little story, but like yesterday I was walking the floor and my kids are into Pokemon, they're young, and so I'm like, and they all, the fans, they always want to share whatever knowledge they have, but so my wife and I were shopping and we're like, I know the name of the character, and I know Pokemon a little bit, I'm not completely ignorant to it, okay, but I'm looking for an Umbreon, I'm like, oh, that looks like Umbreon, and I pick it up and the kid next to me is like, it's not Umbreon. I'm like, all right, I get it. Whoa. Anyway, yeah. So that's I love the passion, and it's inspiring to me.
Yes, indeed. Well, luckily, hopefully, you was able to walk away from that conversation, because you might get that one person that say, and you're going to learn today.
That's why I bring my wife, so I can.
Yeah.
We're making an exit.
Yep. Rick, it's been a pleasure. Folks,
Thanks,
definitely check out the film. You get an opportunity to check it out on demand, digital, 4K, Blu-ray in just a day. Man, that was good. Thank you for watching, folks.